Well, are you trying to find some affordable neighborhoods in Norfolk? Well, today we're talking about the top 10 affordable neighborhoods in Norfolk, Virginia, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Sansalone and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and if it's your first time here, welcome. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification next to it, and then you'll get notified every time that I do a video, which is every Wednesday, about Hampton Roads and about real estate. Today we're talking about the top 10 affordable neighborhoods in Norfolk, Virginia. And when I say affordable, I'm talking about around $300,000 and under. So what we'll do is we'll do several types of neighborhoods. We'll do a neighborhood that's under 200,000 even. That's one of my favorites for the price. But also we'll do a lot there in that 225, 250, 275, and 300 range that are in great locations, maybe near water, near other larger, more expensive neighborhoods. We'll talk about the styles of homes, how large they are, and where they are in relation to other parts of the city. So you can do some pros and cons to figure out if any of these neighborhoods fit for you, especially if you're trying to get in that under $300,000 price range. So number one is Edgewater and Larchmont, two neighborhoods near each other. These are right off of what's called Hampton Boulevard in the far western side of Norfolk. So if you look at Ghent, you see a map, there's Ghent on the bottom southwestern side. Just north of that is Old Dominion University, and right above that is Larchmont and Edgewater. These are really nice houses. They got a lot of character to them, built in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s. They have those large high ceilings, you know. Some have larger pieces of property, some don't. That also can influence the price, but you can find some as low as in the $200,000 ranges, but they go up to almost $1 million. So if you're trying to find a place that is affordable, but also in a neighborhood that has a lot of larger, more expensive homes in it, this area is a great option to check out. Now, some of the drawbacks to the lower priced homes is one, that they are smaller typically, and also they often don't have 2 bathrooms. So usually it's either 1 or 1.5 baths. They can be as low as 1,000 square feet, but the $1 million, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 price range, they can be up 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square feet. One drawback to this area, and this is something that will be talked about over and over again in Norfolk, is the flooding. Now, there is no real neighborhood that is always prone to flooding. This is one that is more apt to flood than others in most of the areas in it. But I would also suggest talking to neighbors to find out exactly, if you like a house in Larchmont or Edgewater, where and how much the flooding occurs in the neighborhood, and if that street or the area around your house is prone to flooding. It's good to know that beforehand, but don't assume that it is or is not. You have to do some more research beyond that. But you want to also check the flood insurance information. You can get quotes on flood insurance because those flood insurance numbers will increase your payment and will affect the affordability of the house. Number 2 is Meadowbrook Terrace. Now, this is kind of more in the middle of Norfolk. If you see, there's the Norfolk Airport, the International Airport. This is somewhat close to that. There's Norview and Military Highway, that intersection. That's kind of a somewhat major intersection. And as you go north on Military Highway, you'll see Meadowbrook Terrace on the right. Now, as you're going down Military Highway, it feels a little bit commercial, a little industrial, a little bit of an older area. But when you drive off the main road and you go into this neighborhood, it's a really, really quiet area. A lot of them are mid-century modern, built in the 60s, a lot of ranch style. They range from anywhere from 1,600 square feet to 3,000 square feet, 3 to 5 bedrooms. And the price ranges at around $230 up to $380. So if you're looking for something that's central in Norfolk, this neighborhood might be an option if you're trying to get something that's under $300,000, but still in neighborhoods that are around it that are more expensive. There's another one near the water also that is in the $400,000 or $500,000 price range that this one's just in front of. And number 3 is another couple of neighborhoods together, CAMELLIA Shores and East LYNNE. This is located closer to the north section of Norfolk, and they of course also have another wide range of prices, starting in that under $200,000 really and go up to $400,000. A lot of them are also still ranch style based on the time frame that they were built. 3 or 4 bedrooms is common, 1,500 to 2,800 or so square feet. But this is near both bases, Little Creek Amphibious Base specifically, very close to that. And then if you go west, you're close to the Norfolk Navy Base, NOB. So this is a nice quiet area near the water that I think you might like, especially if you're going to be stationed at one of those 2 bases and you like that 1950s, 60s style ranch house. Now number 4 is Lambert's Point. Okay, so Ghent has its own flair, right? All those colonial style houses. And we just talked about Larchmont and Edgewater as 2 neighborhoods that are very similar to Ghent that had that same style. Lambert's Point is interesting because to the west is Railroad, to the east is busy Hampton Boulevard, and then you've also got some industrial area to the south. This area is tucked in the middle of all this stuff. Well, and you think, well, why would I want to be there? Well, this area is a very nice section that's kind of, it feels a little bit insulated from all that. There's some quiet streets in here. They start as low as 125 to 150. You can go up to 300,000 and a little bit higher than that. But it's just south of Old Dominion also, and it's only about a 5-minute drive to Ghent. So if you like that style house, that colonial style, large tall ceilings, some yards sometimes, you can get into Lambert's Point and be pretty close to like Old Dominion football, for instance, or Ghent, and not have to drive very far. Now the size of houses are as low as like about 1,000 square feet, and as high up as close to about 3,000 square feet. So they encompass a wide range of sizes too. Now the feel might feel different than Ghent and Larchmont. It's not the exact same, of course, but if you do want something that has a house that is a similar style than those places, but don't want to pay the same amount, this might be a place that you can check out and consider. There will be a couple of other neighborhoods I'll recommend you check out too if you do like this style house. We'll talk about later in the video. That leads us to number 5, which is Elizabeth Park. Now this is further south and east in Norfolk, close to the Elizabeth River. Just north of it is 264, and it's just west of Military Highway, which is that long road that connects even close to MEADOWBROOK Terrace, what we mentioned earlier near the airport. The price ranges are between 200 and 400,000 typically, and the sizes are about 1,200 to 3,000 square feet. And again, a lot of range style, and this is a smaller neighborhood, so houses don't go on the market very often around here. On the water, you're closer to 400,000 and a little bit higher, but if you're just off the water, you can be in that mid 200, upper 275-ish range, and you get a real nice house in a nice neighborhood and within a lot of reasonable distance to other things. Now, one drawback of this area is that it's close to the Norfolk Tyne, the light rail station that connects from East Norfolk over to West Norfolk and downtown. That's a plus and a negative, I guess. It depends on what you think of the light rail. If you don't want to be near a little bit more of that transit, then this might not be as nice of a place. Otherwise, it might be real convenient for you if you like using the light rail. So that neighborhood and that discussion leads me over across the road, across Military Highway, to River Forest Shores. This is a neighborhood that's similar in style to Elizabeth Park, but is a little bit more affordable in price for the most part. More of the houses are in the 200s price range, 250, 230, 260, you know. They can be as high as 350, 375, but that's also especially near the water. On the water, you can spend much higher than that. 1,300 to 3,000 square feet, very similar to Elizabeth Park. Similar time that they were built also. Now again, the drawback to this is it's closer to another stop at the light rail. And they're gonna be building some more mixed income buildings near this area, which might influence the parking situation, depending on how the parking situation works with the new buildings that are being developed close to this neighborhood. This is also extremely close to Virginia Beach. It's almost there. You would almost think you're in Virginia Beach when you're in this or near this neighborhood. That leads me to number 7, Colonial Place. This is one of those, just like Lambert's Point, but a different vibe to it. Colonial Place, a lot of people like Colonial Place because it even feels closer to Ghent than almost anything else, but it still is in that lower price range. It's in like a peninsula just to the northeast of Ghent. Because of where it is, and it's just west of Granby Street, it does take a little bit longer to get to a lot of other places outside of the immediate area because you have to often take Granby up north or south to get to other major roads. But if you're gonna stay in Norfolk also, this is a great spot because you're close to Ghent. You're close to Colley Avenue, a lot of those places that people like, that trendy spot over there. But the houses are awesome. The north side of Colonial Place is on the water, but there are several blocks going south and going east and west that have the same style houses and start as low as $150,000 for the smaller homes, the 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 square feet, but they go up from there to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 and up on the water. But a lot of that area in the middle of there, 250, 275 is pretty common. So if you can get in this neighborhood, you can get a pretty close feel to what might be in Ghent. Again, a lot cheaper, not exactly like Ghent, but it has lots of similarities. Another drawback you might find with these neighborhoods, just like these, similar to Colonial Place, is the configuration of the houses. Some are kind of funny. The storage space isn't as much because those older houses didn't have as much storage space a lot of times. 1 or 1.5 baths is not uncommon at all. So if you're okay with the uncharacteristic configurations of the homes, you might find that this is a great neighborhood for you. Again, keep in mind flood insurance. There are certain places in this neighborhood that flood more than others. That leads us to number 8. It's a cluster of neighborhoods: River Point, Cromwell Farms, and Belvedere. Now these are up the north part of Granby Street on the east and west sides. These are all built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and again, a lot of these are near the water. That's where a lot of the higher priced homes are. So if you're close to there, you do have flood insurance concerns sometimes, but you're also closer to a lot of neighborhoods that are more expensive. They can be as low as $160 on Granby Street, which the reason why it's so cheap is because Granby Street is a very busy street. But for the most part, $250 to $425, but you can get a good amount of options in the $250,000 to $300,000 range. A lot of Cape Cod style, ranch, some 2-story, a little bit of a variance, and you're relatively close to Norfolk Navy Base, NOB, and the Lafayette River, which is just off of the shore. You can have houses in this neighborhood on the water up to over $700,000. That leads us to a unique one I like. Number 9 is Roland Park. It's kind of in the north central area of Norfolk. It starts as low as $130, goes up to like $225, $250. A lot of the area is under $200,000 though, and granted, some of them are configured, they're smaller, like 13, 14, 1,500 square feet, sometimes less than that. And they're often 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-bedroom, 1.5 baths. They often sometimes have detached garages, brick for the most part, but it's a quiet spot just off of Tidewater Drive. Most of them are 2 or 3 bedrooms, sometimes 4. And usually you don't need flood insurance for these too, which is really, really nice. So it's a low price point, modest size and style, but you get a good bang for your buck, all things considered, if you pick Roland Park. Now number 10, Lafayette Residential Park and Winona. 2 neighborhoods right next to each other. Another couple of my favorites. I have several friends that have lived in this area or live in this area. Right off of Tidewater Drive, further south from Roland Park, just west. Headed towards Ghent, not close to it, but it still has that same vibe, similar to Colonial Place. There are several streets in there, same colonial style houses, some ranch also, some brick ranches. If you want that same historic 1910, 2030s colonial style house, this is another great option. The price range is as low as low 200s, even upper 100s in some places the smaller homes are, but they go up from there, 250 to 300 and higher, but most of them are in that 250 to 275 to 285 price range. Most of the houses are between like 1,500 and 2,600 square feet. People love to live in here. The options pop up somewhat infrequently, but when they do, they often go off the market really quickly. But it's another great option for Ghent style homes for a lower price. Now, if you have any other questions, please let me know. You can contact me. My contact information is below, and there's a plan I got up here, moving to Hampton Roads. You can click up there if you want to know more about that. So, and I kind of help you walk through a plan between the time that you think about moving here and the time that you're actually going to move here and what to do. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.